Okay, so I think we are ready now. So let me see those who haven't getting the data yet. Those who don't have the data yet. So I'm sure we all have it. Okay. So now, today, as our vice chairman said, the CPD for the day is going to be financial reporting automation with Excel. I know all of us are very familiar with Excel. We used Excel before for different things in our offices, but now the objective here is why financial reporting automation with Excel. And I know as accountants, when it comes to financial reporting, it's a very crucial thing, because in our offices, if you are preparing management accounts or annual returns, you will have to prepare your financial account or your financial statement. And because of that, because of the essence of that, a lot of organizations, almost all organizations, spend much money to acquire software to manage their financial systems. So now, but the problem is that most of the softwares that organizations have been using are very rigid. So maybe sometimes meeting the demands, let's say the reporting demands of management or the board, it becomes very difficult preparing the data, changing it from different format to another format. You spend a whole lot of time in turning the reporting scheme, or maybe doing some kind of analysis and other things. So that is why it is very important to know how to use Excel in doing all these kind of things. So the per IAS 1, I think it states that a complete set of financial statement, we should get the income statement, the statement of financial position, the cash flow, then we have also the notes of the accounts. Then I think there's another one of that is comparative information. So that is why it is very important. But there are two perspectives. So there are two perspectives in going about with this financial reporting with Excel automation. That is, one perspective is whereby you take it from the point of bookkeeping. From the point of bookkeeping, let's say you start with the cash book, your debtors, your whatever, your sales and other things. You gather your expenses, then you automate it to the trial balance. Then from the trial balance, you prepare your balance sheet, the P&L, cash flow, and other things. Then you also have a perspective whereby, let's say for instance, you are working with a company and the company already has a software. So that one you can extract the trial balance from your company software. And this is very important for especially maybe part-time accountants, or maybe consulting accountants, or maybe auditors who prepare financial statement for companies. So let's say for instance, maybe you've gone to audit a company and you want to audit their trial balance and ensure that whatever information they have presented to you is the exact thing. So you can extract their trial balance and use this process to automate their reporting process and to get your P&L account, to get the balance sheet, the cash flow, the ratio analysis, and any other comparative information maybe you want to you want to get. So today, that is the point where, that is where we'll be taking it from. So we'll take from the perspective that you are a consultant, or maybe you visit a company and you want to prepare the company's financial statement. And from let's say that the company is already using a software to manage their financial systems. So you get their data from maybe whoever will be the accountant over there, or from them, then maybe, so you have the trial balance. So after getting the trial balance, you don't have to be always preparing, maybe doing kind of summations and other things to get your report. The moment you extract the information, you load it to a folder, and you refresh your report, you should be able to get all your information done for you once you are with it. So that is the perspective we'll be taking it from today. So we'll be starting now. So as I said earlier on, the objective is to automate the trial balance. Then after automating the trial balance, we'll link the trial balance to the income, to get the income statement, the financial position, the cash flow, and maybe the ratio analysis. So maybe for the sake of time, maybe you'll be able to do the income statement, the financial position, then I'll give the ratios and the cash flow as an assignment. So you can, because it will follow the same process. It follows the same process, and it's nothing much difficult. And the most important thing is to get the trial balance automated. And once that one is automated and you link it to the financial position and other things, everything is done for you. So it's not anything very difficult, but just that the tools in Excel that we're using today, some of them you might be familiar with them, but some of them too, I'm sure you've not seen them before. You don't even know that they even exist. But we'll be using them today. So this is the process we are going to follow. So first of all, we start with the message. We open a blank Excel sheet. After opening a blank Excel sheet, then we connect the Excel sheet to our data source. So the data source is going to be where the trial balance, we are going to pick the trial balance from. So that will be the source of information. Then afterwards, we will go through some kind of data cleaning and transformation. We'll go through some data cleaning because the information may not be in order. It may be some kind of mess up and you have to shape it to suit whatever you want it to become. Then from there, we'll transform the values to debit and credit. Then we prepare our financial statement now. So these are the Excel tools we'll be using. So the tools we'll be using lookup functions. I'm sure some of you have used lookup function before. Who hasn't used it before? So we have VLOOKUP, index and match, XLOOKUP. We have offset functions and other ones. But what we're using today is we're using VLOOKUP. I'm sure some of you have used VLOOKUP before. Let me see by hand. So that, okay. Then who are the VLOOKUP? Okay. Then we'll be using conditional statement. That is the if statement. So that one, I'm sure that one you've used it before. At least to do some kind of grading, student grading. Then also the test function, name range, and power query. I'm sure the power query there, some of you don't even know they exist. And power query. So this is what we'll be doing. So for time's sake, let's open our folder, the folder that I sent to you, the course folder. So I hope you've opened our data. So let's open the trial balance data. Okay. So there's one data labeled financials. So for time's sake, we might not get a time to do some kind of formatting like the label. So what we are going to do is that we are just going to copy the information. So let's open a fresh, a new, let's say a blank Excel worksheet. So open a blank Excel worksheet. Then after opening the blank Excel worksheet, you open the financials, the information labeled financials. So you can open that one. Please, those online too, please let's just follow the same thing. So let's open. So this is the financials. Okay, so when you open it, you see this way. We have the trial balance here. So this one, this is where we are going to do the automation. So open a fresh. So just click on, after opening this, you can click on Control N to open the blank Excel sheet. Control N to open a blank Excel sheet. Then after opening the blank Excel sheet, go to and you can use the tab, Control tab to switch between the financials that you've opened in the Excel. So let's come here. Then let's just copy everything over here. Or you can even move it to the Excel blank Excel sheet. So right click on it. After opening it, right click on the down here, the BS notes. At the down here, BS notes. Right click on it. Then go to move or copy. Move or copy. So when you go to move or copy, you see that where you see the financials over here, there's an arrow over here. Click on that arrow, then go to new book, the book 1. Click on the one you just opened, the new blank sheet that you opened, that is labeled book 1 or book 2, however it will appear on your. Then go to move to end, then click on create a copy. Create a copy. Then you click on OK. So, Mr. Prince, please be helping those around you for me. So now, after doing that, let's do the same thing for the P&L notes over here too. So let's move that one to the blank, the workbook that we just opened. So go to move or copy, then select the workbook 1, then you click on move to end, then create a copy. Move to end, create a copy. So we have moved that one too. Then let's move the SOFP. Let's move that one too. The reason why we are doing that we just want to copy the format. So afterwards we'll delete all the figures in the format to be there. Then we'll be using the format. I don't want her to spend time on the formatting. So let's move this one to go to financial. So go to the workbook 1, move to end, then create a copy. Then OK. Then the last one, the income statement. So this is the income statement. Let's move that one too. Okay. So now let's open it and let's save it. So let's save it. So go to file and maybe go to save as. Then you save it with the name. So let's get a name for this company. So this is a financial, let's say, accounts for a financial institution. So we are coming to prepare the financial statement of a financial institution as an example. So since there's a financial institution, maybe I'm going to say Z Financial Services. So this is my Z. So let me get financials. So you can save it in the course so that you know where your documents are. So I'm saving it over here. Okay. So this is our new sheet. So what we are going to do that all this information in it, we are going to delete them and we are going to create them on our own. So we can delete all these values, but you can leave the totals. So you can delete, just highlight and delete all those values, but leave the code and the description. That one will be making use of it, but just delete the values in it. So we are deleting everything. So let's highlight this area. Let's highlight the column we want to delete. Let's highlight the column we want to delete. Then let's go to find and select at the home tab. So go to special, then select formulas. So uncheck the text and the errors, then click on OK. So it will highlight all those with the formulas. Then you just click on delete. So it will delete everything. So now we have the format there, but all the values have been deleted. So let's do the same thing at the P&L notes. So that's how you highlight the column you want to delete. You go to find and replace. Go to special. Then you check the formulas, uncheck the text and the errors. Even the errors can be there. Then you can click on OK to highlight everything. Then you click on delete. So all of them is gone. So we have the format there, but the values have been deleted. So here will be different. The SOFP and the income statement, that one there are no formulas in it. So that's why deleting them will be different. So you can just highlight those areas. Then you go to the find and replace side. Then go to special. Go to special. So this one, they are going to be numbers. So select those with numbers. Okay, it didn't come. Let me see. Okay, so select the constant because this one, they don't contain formulas. So select the constants. So you can uncheck the text and all of these ones. Just leave the numbers. Then click on OK. So to highlight them, then you click on delete. To delete them. So they are all gone. So you can do same to the income statement. Okay. So now we have the format over here. So now the next thing we are going to do, so highlight the area you want to delete. So let's say this area that contains the numbers. You highlight everything. So my interface will be slightly different from you. My own is Office 365. So you go to where we have the find and replace and whatever, where you can do the sorting and other things. So that arrow, you just click on it, the search. Then you go to special. Then those that contain formulas, no. If you want to delete those that are containing formulas, you click on the formulas. And if you want to delete those containing the constants, you click on the constant. That are the ones without formulas. You click on the constant, then you click on OK to highlight the whole area. Then you click on delete. So let's move on to getting the trial balance. Now the first process is how to get the trial balance automated from a folder. So after getting that, then maybe we'll use some kind of functions in Excel to join the trial balance with our financial statement. That's the balance sheet, the P&L, and the cash flow and other things. So now, as I said earlier on, we'll be following some process. So first of all, we will connect to the data source. Then after connecting to the data source, then we'll do some kind of transformation. So let me open to you. Let's open. Okay, so now I'm back online, so we can continue. Sorry, so those online, so we have to be with them. That is why there's a little bit delay. So let's continue. So as I said earlier on, the next thing is to connect to the data source. And the data source is going to be, you see that the folder I gave to you, the course folder. When you open it, there's another folder I have labeled a trial balance. So that trial balance, there's a data in it. So that is what we are first connecting the data source to. So any folder you place in that folder is going to populate into our financial statement. So let's start now. So before we do that, let's all go to data. Please let me know the versions of your Excel. I'm using Office 365. If your Office is below 2016, you will not be able to use Power Query. But if you have from 2010 and 2013, you have the option to install the Power Query. But 2007, please, that one. So to know your Excel version, go to File. To know your Excel version, go to File. Then from File, you go to Accounts. So mine is Office 365. Here is over here, Microsoft 365. So you can check your own. So if you have from 2016 2021, you have access to the Power Query that you are going to use. So who is using 2007 here?
Using
2013. Okay, so 2013, you are using 27. 13. Oh, okay. Okay, so 13, you still have the option to install the Power Query way. So I think I have the setup, so let me share instead of, but you can download from the website too. If you have data, you can quickly download from the website. So you can set Power Query download and be able to download and install it. So after installation, you need to refresh your Microsoft, your workbook or the Excel. So is the pen drive here? Okay, so those who have data, just go to open, let's say, the web page like this. Then search Power Query download like this. So you see, this is the Microsoft Power Query for Excel. So you can just click on it over here, then download. The pen drive. Okay. The version is so you can scroll down, then you come to the download over here. Then you can click on it and download it. So I think most of you have modern laptops, so it will be 64-bit. Most of you may be using the 64-bit. My own is 64-bit though. So I'll just click on the 64-bit. Go to the next. Then it's downloading now. So let me download it to my pen drive. Then you click on OK. So it's downloading. So let me give you the next 5 minutes for this downloading. Please, if you don't have it, then I will give my draft to you, then you can install it on your own.
So those who are using the 2016 still we have to.
Yeah, 2016 you don't have to download. You have it. So 2016 and upward, you have it inbuilt in your Excel. So as it's still downloading, let's go through this. So now go to the trial balance folder and open it. So this is an CSV file. So as you open it, look at how the trial balance look like in the folder in an Excel sheet. So you could see that this trial balance, even though it looks like a trial balance, but there's a lot of work as an auditor. Let's say, for instance, you have gone to an institution and you say that you want your trial balance and they give you something like this. You don't know where to start from, whether to start from the left or from the right, because the information is very messy. Even the debit and credit, like everything is joined with the figures in there. So how do you get those things out from it and make sure everything is in line in order for you to do the calculation that you want to do? And this one too, the credit and the debit are messed up. So all the debit and the credit, they are all in the same line. So how do you separate them so that you have debit one column, credit in the other column? Then also over here, you see the description and the account code. The description and the account code is joined together. So you need to separate those two so that you have your account code, description, debit, and the credit in a well organized way of, let's say, reporting to or a trial balance, which is well understood by we accountants. So you need to do some kind of data cleaning. So that's the data cleaning we'll be doing with the Power Query. And as we are doing this data cleaning, Power Query will record every system, every step that we go through. So as you are going to record it, and the next time you load the data into the folder, it remembers everything and able to do the same thing. So you don't have to do it over and over again. You do it once, and the next time it will be doing it for you. You don't have to be working on it again. So let's check whether our Power Query is already downloaded. Then we can start. Okay, so those with me, let's continue. So now when it's open this way, I think those with Power Query when you get to this side, instead of seeing transform here, you won't see transform. You see some edits. You will see some edits. So if you see edit and you don't see transform in the same way, so go to browse. Okay, so now let's continue. So we are all on this surface. Okay, so let's continue. So those of you who are having get transform data over here, click on it. Those who don't have it will see edit. So just click on the edit. So let's click on it. So something like this will open. So this is where you were. So something like this will open. So now we all have this. So now this is the data we are loading, and the content over here that contain the database, and we can see the name, the extension. So extension is CSV file, then the date of we access it. So all this you don't need it. So what we are going to do is that we are going to remove all those kind of information. Then we're only going to use the content over here. So let's click on the content at the top over here. So right click on it like this. Right click on it. Then you go to remove other column. Remove other column means that we are clicking on this one. We are going to remove any other column with the exception of the one we are clicking on it. So that is remove other columns. So we just click on it. So we get this data like this. So I hope you are here. Then you can see some 2 arrows pointing down over here. So let's click on the 2 arrows pointing down. So this is the data that we are having. Then let's go and click on OK. So this is the data now. So we are on the Power Query editor. So once you open the Power Query editor, you cannot use Excel. It will not give you access to use Excel. So the Power Query is separate from the Excel. Even though it is inbuilt in the Excel, but that one is separate from the Excel. So we are on the Power Query editor. So now, as I said earlier on, this data is messy, so we need to do some kind of cleaning and preparation. So you could see over here, apply steps. So the steps that whatever we are doing is recording over here. So it's recording all the steps at this place. So you can be taking notice of. And if you mess up somewhere, or maybe if you make a mistake somewhere and you want to go back, this one there's no undo like Excel. So you just come to the steps, you cancel this one. Maybe if I want to change this one, I just change it added some types over here. So maybe I don't want it, I can just click on change types to go to the next step. So that step that it added means that over here it changed the normal format to text. So that was, but it was done automatically without our consent. So that was why. So after doing that, maybe if I want to bring it back, I will just go here and maybe change it to text. So we have the text, that is the ABC, the normal format. We have the decimal numbers and the date and whatever format you want to do it. So maybe I'm going back to text, or then maybe, so you see that the steps has appeared over there. So this is where we are. So now what we are going to do is that this is the headings. So we have the description and the amount. That's the heading. So what we are going to do is that we are going to promote the heading. So we are going to promote it from this side to the column 1 levels. Then the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to separate the account code from the description. And we are going to separate the units, which is the debit and the credit, from the amount that will be using. So first of all, let's do the heading. So to do the heading, once you come here, you see that you say use first row as a header at the top over there from the home button. Can you all see that?
Yes.
So just click on it. So you see that it has moved the headings up. So now, then the next thing we are going to do is that we are coming to separate the account code from the description. So we are going to separate them. So let's click on the description at the top. If you click within over here, it will just vanish. To do it, you have to click on the top, at the top over here on the description. Then do a right click on it. Or even let's not do that. So over here, let's come over here. Let's not use the right click. You can use the right click to do it, but we have it over here too. So you can see split column over here. Split column over here. So let's click on it, on the arrow, and it will open. So now there's something common over here. You see that there's the account code and the description. There's something separating them. So what the separator is what we call the delimiter. So we say separate by delimiter. So click on the delimiter. So some of you, it will come automatically. So the delimiter is what? It's a dash. But if it doesn't come automatically, you change the top here, you select it to custom. You change it to custom, then you just tap dash over there. If it doesn't come automatically. But if it comes automatically, the dash appears over there. You just come, then you see that split at. The split at over here, there's 3 things over here. You see that this dash is beginning from the left to the right. So that is, so where are we separating it from? So we are going to select the leftmost delimiter. So the one that appears first from the left. Are you getting it? So let's click on the leftmost delimiter. Then we click on OK. So you see that we have separated them. Then let's come to the amount side. We are now going to separate the amount and the unit. That's the debit and the credit. We are going to separate them. So are you there? So let's right click on the amount. let's do a right click, or we can as well use the split column. The split column. Then that one too, you are going to use the delimiter. So over here, the first one we did, the delimiter was dash. But this one, the delimiter is going to be a space. Because there's space separating the amount and the debit and the credit. So instead of using the dash, you see it has given us some kind of dot. We are not going to use the dot. If not, we will scatter our digits. So we are going to use the space. So let's go and change from the customs over there and change it to space. So this one, the space, let's set it to from each occurrence. Wherever the space, it should take it out. So from each occurrence. So from there, we just click on OK. So you see that the debit and the credit has split to amount 2. Then we have amount 3, amount 4, so all of them, they were all spaced within. All of this one, they were all spaced. So you see there are some no. So we are not going to need all, we don't need all kind of those data. So the data we are going to make use of it is going to be the description 1, description 2, the amount 1, and the amount 2. Those are the data we are going to make use of it. So let's click on control and click on each of them. So it will highlight all of them. So let's click on control and click on each of them. That is the amount 1, amount 2, and the description 1 and description 2. Then from there, right click on it at the top. The right click should be done at the top. Then go to remove other columns, so that all those with the now will go away. So for the sake of others, I want to go back small. So I'm going back, I'm deleting some steps I just did then. So up to this level. Okay. I hope you are all up to this level. You all have this. So I'm just going back, then do the splitting again. So I'm coming to do the splitting again, then from there on we come to the transformation of the data. Okay, so I'm coming to separate the account code from the description. So I'm doing it again. So you go to split over here, then split by delimiter. So the delimiter is the separator. What is separating between the account code and the description? So that is a dash. So you just choose a dash. So the dash has come automatically. Then I want it to, it's happening from the left to the one I see from the first from the left. So that is why I'm selecting the leftmost delimiter. Then I'll click on OK. So those who haven't done it, please follow well. So now we have separated the description from the account code from the description. Then let's come to the amounts too. So the amount here, the delimiter is different from the other one. Here it is space. So we are coming to use space. So I'll go to split again. Then by delimiter. Then I'll change it from custom to space. This time I'm going to use each occurrence. It means that wherever there is space, it should take it out. So I'll just click on OK. So now I have them split out. So now I'm going to only select the data that I'm going to make use of it. So I'm selecting the first one, the second one, whilst I'm holding on the control key, third one, and the fourth one. Any other one should go off. So remove other columns. So we have this. This is where we all go to. So now let's do some naming. The heading, let's rename them. So the first one, we are going to call it ledger code or leg code. So you just double click on it, on the heading. Then you type leg code. Then this one is description. So let me just remove the 0.2 from there. Then the amount 1 to, I'm just going to maintain the amount. So I'm removing the 0.1 from there. Then where we have the debit and the credit, I will label it unit. So like this. So have you all done the naming? Mark. Don't worry. Just label them as it is. So if it has interchanged, so we can reschedule it. So maybe if the account code should be the one leading, then we have the description. So if you want to move it, if maybe your account code is over here, just click on the top over here. Click on your hold on the mouse key, then just drag it this way. So it will change it. So I'm taking it back to the last end. Is it okay? Okay. So let's continue. So now, over here you can see that the amount where we are going to use, it is coming as a text. Like the number format is coming as a text, and a text we can't work values, we can't make calculations with it. So let's change it from text to decimal. So let's click on the ABC. The ABC you see at the top there, just click on it. And just click on the decimal number, the 1.2. Okay, so are you all there?
Yes.
Then the next thing we are coming to do is that let's remove the now values from it, the now that we are seeing. So let's come to the description side. So from the description side, you see the arrow there. Click on it. Then come and uncheck the now. Click on check. Then OK. So you see that it has been removed. You can see some of them in at the unit side. That one, let's just leave it, and it will go by itself by the time we finish. So now our data is coming to shape. So now how do we get the debit in one column and the credit in the other column? That is the next thing we are coming to do. So we need to move all the debit to one column and all the credits to also another column, so that we will get our trial balance in the proper order. That is what the accountants we understand. This one, the computer neoma. Okay, so now what you are going to do is that you are going to create a conditional column. A conditional column means that you are going to use formulas to create the column. A conditional column, so that's going to be an if statement. So we have two ways of doing it. We can use the M language. So when working with Power Query, we have something called M language. That is what maybe if you want to do some coding in Power Query, you use. But I'm not going to use that one. I'm just going to use a simple tool so that we all get understanding right. Because the M language, you have to write everything verbatim. You don't have to get any wrong thing. But I'm going to use the other side, which we will get understanding very easy. So let's go to transform data. No, let's go to add column. Add column. So add column. Then from the add column, you could see conditional column over there. Conditional column over here. So let's click on it. Conditional column. So you have this interface. You all have this. So now, the column we are going to create. So the first label you are seeing over here is going to be the name of the column. So we are going to create a debit side first. So let's label this column as debit. Let's label it as debit. So now we are coming to the conditional statement. So now we are going to use an if function. So it has given us the format already. So if function have about 3 arguments. So the argument when the logical test. Okay, so let's continue. This is where we got to. So I'm going back to the conditional column. That was what we wanted to do. So I'll click on columns, add column, then conditional column. So I'm labeling the heading as debit. Then let's come to the if statement. So we have if statement have got about 3 arguments. So the first argument is the logical test. Then the second one is the value when it is true and value when it is false. So this one is given out this way. So it's given out. So this is going to be the logical test, and it's defining it for us the parameters. So you are going to say that if the unit. So over here the unit is going to be the logical test. So the unit and the operator. So if the unit, so this is the unit. If the unit over here is equal to debit, so the whole of this area will define the logical test. So if it is equal to debit, then the output is going to be the value when it is true. So when the value is true, what do we put in there? So when it is debit, then we are going to select the amount column. Then it will populate the values in the amount column over there when the values are debit. So to select the column, over here at the output, where you see the ABC over there, just click on the arrow, then select a column. Select a column because you are going to select the amount column. So we are changing the ABC to column, selection column. Then you see some arrow over here. So go and select the amount. Are you getting it? Then so when there is no debit there and there's credit over there, what do we put in there? We should put in 0 because you don't want to see any values there. So that's the else. So else 0. So it means that if the unit is equal to debit, then put the amount column over there. If not, or else put 0. So I'll just type on 0. So now click on OK. So we've created a debit column. Then let's create the credit column to the same format, using the same format. So let's go to conditional column again. Then the labeling will just label it credit. The heading will be credit. Then we come over here. If the unit side is equal to credit, so we type in credit, CR. Then, so we change the output to select a column. Then we should provide the amount column, else 0. So click on OK. So now we have the credit side too. So now we've gotten the credit side and the debit side. Now this amount and the unit, we don't need them again. So let's delete them. So let's click on it, highlight, whilst we are clicking, holding on control. So now we are not going to remove other columns. We are going to remove the column itself, the ones we've selected. So let's select that one and go to remove columns. So we get this. Okay, so now, so someone was having challenge. Somebody is not having this conditional column. So it means that with such a person, we need to use the M language. So that's the only option left to use. So this is what I'm going to do. So for his sake, I'm going back and redoing it again using the M language. So that one I'll go to custom column. Then I'll create it from there. So let me undo my conditional column. So I have it over here. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'll go to the custom column. Please, I'm doing it for your sake, so pay attention. So this is what I'm going to do. So I have the column name over here. So the column name here is going to be debit. So here I have to write the if statement code here myself. So what I'm going to say that if the amount, so the amount here, the unit, sorry, I can just click on the unit over here, is equal to is it equal to what? Debit here, yeah. It's equal to debit. Be very careful. So the debit here, you have to put in the quotation mark. Is equal to debit. So DR. Then, so if it is equal to debit, then you select the amount column. So the amount column will come. Then else 0. So then you are done. So everything should be like this. Any other thing, and it should be in lowercase. So if the unit is equal to debit, then it will provide the amount, else 0. So then you click on OK. So you see that the debit column has been created. Then you do same thing for the credit too. So you come here, you change the column to credit. The column name is credit. So I'll say that if the unit, so the unit is here, so I'll just select the unit, is equal to debit. It's equal to credit, sorry. Then select the amount column, else 0. Then you click on OK. So I have my debit and the credit column selected, created now. I hope you've done that. Okay, so let's continue. So now we don't need the amount and the unit again. So let's highlight them and delete them. So remove them. So remove columns. So we'll be left with the account code or the ledger code, the description, the debit and the credit. So now you can see that the debit and the credit side, they are in text format. So let's change them to decimals. So let's click on it and change it. Select the decimals over here. So click on the ABC123 and change it to ABC123 means that it's a general way. So let's change it to decimals. So now I think we have our track balance in shape. We have our track balance in shape now. So now we can load it to Excel. So let's go to home. Then click on close and load. So you go to home, then you click on close and load. So you just click on close and load like this. So our trial balance will come. So you see that there's some sheet 1 in the middle. I don't need it, so I'm just going to delete that one. So I have my trial balance here. I have my balance sheet notes, my P&L notes, then the balance sheet itself, then the income statement. So now we are going to populate the data over here. So we are going to connect the trial balance to the balance sheet note, the P&L notes. Then we will connect it further to the balance sheet itself and the income statement. So we are going to use this where we are coming to use the VLOOKUP function, but we are going to combine both VLOOKUP and if. So we are going to combine those functions, two functions. But I want you to know the purpose of the VLOOKUP first. So the VLOOKUP is just used to search information. So over here we have information in this trial balance, and we want to populate this information to this balance sheet note or the BS note. So the VLOOKUP will help us to search, to allocate the information using the ledger code. Then per the column position or the column index. So maybe if you want to get the numbers from the debit side, we will count the column 1, 2, 3. So the column index is going to be 3 for the debit side. And if you want the values from the credit side, the column index is going to be 4. So once we count from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the column index is going to be 4. So let's come here. Let's come to the BS note to demonstrate what I'm just talking about. So are we all here now? I can start. Those online, I hope you are off. So we are going to search the information in the trial balance over here. So we are going to use VLOOKUP. So we just enter. So, and let me also tell you something, show you something over here. When we created the trial balance over here using the data Power Query, after loading it, it will come in the form of a table, and it will give it a name. So the name that it gave was the trial balance. So if you want to see the name over here, you come to the design, table design over here. Then you see that this is the name of the table. So that's the trial balance. So we can easily type trial balance as a formula in the VLOOKUP function, and it will pull the information straight away. Are you following? So let's come here. So we just type equal to sign. So we know that every formula starts with equal to sign. You can also start a formula with a plus sign. The plus, you can tap the plus and you can start the formula with it. So equal to VLOOKUP. So VLOOKUP. So if you tap the VL, the lookup will show. So you can click on the tab key to select it. You can click on the tab key to select it. So this is what I was talking about. The VLOOKUP has got about 4 arguments. We have 4 arguments. So the first argument is the lookup value. So the lookup value is the reference point. So what index are you using to look for the information? So that is going to be the account code over here. Then we have the table array. So the table array is the entire data. Where is it located? It's located in the trial balance. The data is located in the trial balance. Then we have the index column. The index column, are we getting the data from the debit side or from the credit side? So it is from the debit side, you type 3. If from the credit side, you type 4. Are you getting it? Yes. Then we have the range lookup. Range lookup means that we have the approximate match and the exact match. So the approximate match, if you select true, we have it true and false. If you select true, it means that if you don't get the information you are looking for, it will pick the nearest in meaning or the nearest value. But we want the exact match. We don't want any other thing. So we are going to select false. Or in computer 2, true means 1, false means 0. So instead of the true and the false, you can replace it with what? 0. So you can just type in 0 and it will work. So that's what we're using. So let's start. So now the lookup value is going to be the account code over here. So you just select, that's the A4. So select the A4 over here. Then every argument should be separated with a comma. So after selecting this, you click on a comma. Then we come to the table array. So within the table array, we can just type the trial balance. So just start tapping trial balance and it will just appear. So this is the trial balance, it just appeared over there. You can select it. So you selected this, the A4. So this the lookup value is going to be the A4. So this is the A4. So select the A4, then bring a comma. Yeah, after the equal sign, you type VLOOKUP. So this is the equal to sign. You type V, L. So the lookup function will just pop up. So once it pop up, you can use the tab key. You know the tab key. You click on the tab key to select it. You've done that one. So now we have the arguments will come. So we have 4 arguments in there. The lookup value, the table array, the index column or the column index, then we have the lookup range or the range lookup. So the lookup value is going to be the account code over here. So we select the account code, that is the A14, A4. Then we separate with the comma. Then type your trial balance. So the table array is going to be the trial balance. So type trial balance, it will just pop up. Then you use the use the tab key to select it, comma, then you bring a comma again. So we are going to the index column. We are looking for the debit values. This balance sheet, so the cash, this is the asset column. The asset columns have the values are at the debit side. So we are pulling the values from the debit side. So we select 3, then comma again. So this is what I was talking about, the true and the false. So the false means 0. So we just type 0. Then you close the brackets. You press enter. You go 0, say. So you can drag it down. So it means that that particular doesn't have a value. So you can drag it down to this side. So see that it's populating the figures from the trial balance. Okay. So I'm going over it again. I'm going over it again. So you start with equal to sign, VLOOKUP. So we select the account code. So lookup value is going to be the account code over here, comma. The table array over here is going to be the trial balance. So I will type trial balance. It will pop up. I will select it, comma. The index column is going to be 3, comma. Yeah. 3 means that the position in the trial balance is 3 when it comes from the left. So we have, when it comes from the left, we have the account code, description, debit. So debit is on the 3rd column. Then credit is on the 4th column. Are you getting it? Comma, then 0. 0 means exact match. So either 0 or false. You can select false. You see that over here it's giving an option that you can choose either true or false. So we are choosing the false, which is 0. So we can equally choose the false instead of the 0 and it will come like this. So you drag it down. So over here, so this we are going to add the if statement. So I'm coming to explain to you why the if statement is necessary over here. So now you can see that the EcoBank disbursement, the value in there is 0. But let's come to the trial balance. So once we come to the trial balance, let's check from the asset side. I think it's down here. Okay, here is it. So we start from this side. So this is the EcoBank disbursement. So you can see that there's a value there, but it is at the credit side. it means that there's an overdraft on that account. That is why the account is overdrawn. So meaning if we only use only the debit side, we may not get the values at the credit side too. So how do we get the values at the credit side? So that is why we have to add the if statement. So the if statement is that, as I said earlier on, the if statement have three arguments: value, the logical test, value when it is false, value when it is true, and value when it is false. So over here, the logical test is going to be that now we have inserted a formula. So you are going to say that if this formula gives us a zero value, if this formula they have input give us a zero value, so that is going to be the logical test. Then if it is that way, then it should select. So the value when it is true is going to be that, go to the trial balance, pick those values at the credit column and bring it and give it add a negative figure to it, so it will come as a negative value. But if it is not like that, then report the same figure. So that will be the value when it is false. Are you getting it? So now we are not going to enter any formula again. So we are just going to copy the same thing. So let's copy the formula over here. Highlight everything and copy. Copy with the exception of the equal to sign. Don't copy the equal to sign inclusive. So you can copy it from the formula bar too. So highlight and copy it. Then afterwards, so what we are going to do that, we are going to put an equation sign. So we are going to say if, so we are adding if statement from the front. So if the formula, this is the formula is already in there. So if this formula is equal to 0, if this formula is equal to 0, then we bring in comma. So value when it is false, you see that we have already copied the function already. So let's just paste it and change the 3 to 4. 3 to 4 means that it should pick the values from the credit side. Are you getting it? So let's change the 3 to 4. Then put a negative value in front of it, of the VLOOKUP. The value with what we just pasted. So we put a negative here. It means that the credit will come as a negative. Then we bring comma again. Then we paste value when it is true. When it is false. So when it is false, then it should report the same value. So we just close the bracket. So this is the function we need to write. I found one is wrong. So you see that the petty cash, the account was overdrawn. So now it's coming as a negative. So let me enlarge my screen. I'm sure maybe you can't see my screen well. Okay, so let me take it over. I'm taking everything over. So I'm starting afresh. So the first thing is, you let me even delete all these figures again. Okay. Our time is almost up. So you are starting with the equal to sign. So you are going to use the VLOOKUP. So we are saying that VLOOKUP, the lookup value, that this one, I hope this one you understand. So the lookup value is going to be the A for comma, then we type the trial balance, comma, index column is 3, comma, then approximate match is 0. You close the bracket. So you can drag this one down. So what I was trying to do is that I'm trying to add a conditional statement to this so that it will be able to pick the values at the credit side. So I'm going to start the conditional statement from the beginning, because this one are going to be, so the conditional statement is going to be the parent, and the if statement, the lookup is going to be the babies of the conditional statement. So we have the first baby. The first baby is the logical test. So the first baby is the logical test. So if, so this is the if argument. So we have the logical test over here. So this is the logical test. So the logical test, so is going to be, so if this function that is in is equal to 0, so the whole of this is the logical test. So we bring a comma. So you see that after tapping this and bringing the comma, it has moved to value when it is false, when it is true. So when it is true means that, okay, so let me turn the argument so that it doesn't confuse you. So what I'm going to say that if this is not equal to 0, so in Excel, not equal to 0 means that the greater than and the less than, you bring them together like this. That is when it is not equal to 0. So if this is not equal to 0, so like this, when it is not equal to 0. So when it is not equal to 0, then you copy this formula. Don't copy the if or the bracket starting with the if. The bracket starting the if, don't copy that one. So copy the lookup function only, from the VLOOKUP to the last bracket. So copy that one and come and paste it over here. So if it is not equal to 0, just copy that one and come and paste it over there. I think that one is simple. Greater than and less than on your keyboard. Then you bring comma. You bring comma again. So it will move to value when it is false. It will move to value when it is false. So now, up to this side is the logical test. From here is the value when it is true. So when it is true means that when it is not equal to 0, it means that you're going to populate the debit side. So now when it is false, then it means that we need the values from the credit side. So now let's paste it again. What we copied now, let's paste it again. But because we are taking it from the credit side, we are just going to change the 3 over here to 4. Then we'll put a negative sign in front of it. Then we'll close the last bracket for the if statement. That is all. So just type enter. So it's giving us the same. You gotten it? No. Hey, Nadole. So bring comma. Hey, okay. You use a special way. No, so you use the less than and the. Anyway. So are you all done? Should I open the formula again? Or I should do it again? I should go over it again. Okay. So I'm going over. So I'm sure the VLOOKUP, that one you understand. So VLOOKUP, lookup value is this, comma. Table array is the trial balance, comma. Index column is 3, comma, 0. Then we are done. So now I'm coming to add a conditional statement. So you start from the beginning, in between the VLOOKUP and the equal to sign. Then you type the if. So you say if. So you type the after typing the if, maybe you tap the tab key, you click on the tab key to select the bracket, or you have to tap the bracket yourself. So if the formula in there, this formula that is already in there, if it is not equal to 0, if it is not equal to 0 means that it contains a value. It can be either greater than or less than 0. Are you getting it? It contains a value. So if it is not equal to 0, comma, so that becomes the argument. If it is not, that becomes the logical test. If it is not equal to 0, then value when it is true, what do we do? Value when it is true means that we are going to input the value, the formula we created earlier on. So let's copy this formula we created earlier on, and come and paste at the value when it is true. So we come and paste it over here. Then we bring a comma. We are not changing anything over here. Everything remains the same. So that becomes the value when it is true. Then we bring a comma. Then what becomes the value when it is false? So value when it is false, we are just pasting the same thing again. But the only two things we are going to do is that we are going to change the index column, which is 3, to 4. Then we will add a negative sign to it. That is all. So negative sign will be in front of the VLOOKUP here. Then we will change the 3 to 4. Then we will close the last bracket. Like this. Then we are done. Then you press on enter. So now you can drag this one down, and it will populate all the other figures that are not showing. Okay, so we are all here. Hey, we are going to eat. We don't have time. Let's try and finish it. Then afterwards we eat our food. If not, they will come and sack us right now. Our time they said they have another meeting over here, so we need to finish earlier for other people to come in. So now we've all gotten this. We all have this now. Okay, so now let's drag it through. So you can copy. So this is what you can do. So you can copy. So copy one of them. Then you can highlight the areas you want to paste. I don't want her to do this. Okay, let's do it this way. Let's do it one by one. So let's copy any of the formula. Then come and paste it down. But before that, do the totals over here. So to get the totals here, very quick, you can press Alt equal to sign to select the total. Alt equal to sign, so it will tabulate all the total there. Then you can copy any of the function over there. You come and paste it over here. Then you drag it down. Then Alt equal to sign to get a total. Then copy another one again. Drag it down. So we are at the table side over here. Then Alt equal to get a total. Then I'm at the deferred tax assets. So I've gotten it. Then let me copy this formula again and come and paste it over here. Then drag it through. Then Alt equal to get a total. We copy this one again. We will come and paste it over here. Then drag it down. Hey, are you doing the totals?
Me, my own, the total is automatic.
The total is automatic. Oh, okay. Okay, because you deleted it one by one. So Alt equal to sign. So copy the next one again, come and paste down. So this is the intangible assets. So over here, let's leave it like that. No. So now the total asset, if you get to the total asset column, if you get to the total asset column, you just type equal to sign, then you see the totals, you just select them one by one. So you select this one, the first one, then plus the second one, plus the next one, just the totals. But when you get to the deferred tax, the deferred tax column, that one there's no total there, so select that one. Then plus, you come to the other assets, plus the PPE, plus the intangible assets. Then I think you are done here. So this will become our total assets. So now let's copy the formula and come and paste it at the liability. So the liability starts from the customer's deposit or the fixed deposit we have over here. It means that this financial institution, they only do they don't take normal deposit, they only do investment. So you paste it over here. So you see that because it is the same formula, the liability side is becoming all negative. So let's edit the formula. Where there is 3, you put 4. And where there is 4, you put 3. So we edited the formula. So now we can drag it down and get the totals. So let's continue for the other side too. So let's copy the formula and paste it down. And we can drag it through. If you get to the totals, Alt equal to sign to get a total. Copy again to the other side. Then general loss provision, let's copy and paste over here. Then we have come to the capital side. So general loss provision, that's the impairment, the loan impairment. So prof is here, so you can explain further. IAS 36. So, but before that, let's go back to the trial balance. We didn't check whether the trial balance was balancing or not. So over here, the trial balance, the totals are not there. So to add the totals, go to the table design over here, or you can go to designs, table designs over here. So you see that there's some row total. Just check the column over here. Add row total. Then it will add the first one. Then over here you have to come and select it. So come and change this one to sum. Then we have the total, so it means that the trial balance is balancing. Go to the table design over here and check the totals. There's a total over there. So now the trial balance is balancing. So let's go to back to. So now we've gotten all this, the totals for all of them. So over here, let's get the total for the incomes, the shareholders fund too. So, or I can still use the Alt equal to select it. So this is the shareholders fund. So now let's come to the total liabilities. So total liability, we type equal to sign. We select this plus this plus. So this is just the note. So we are not doing the balance sheet proper. So this one I didn't add totals to it. So it's going to be equal to this plus this one plus the accumulated depreciation here plus this plus okay, so I hope you've done all the totals. It's not done the totals. Me, I'm done with my own. So now we are done with the BS sheet. So you can see that you can subtract the total asset from the liabilities. So I'm getting a difference of 4,3 so and so. I'm sure it will be the profit. For negative 4,3,229. Yeah, I'm sure that will be the profit. So what we are going to do is that this is the income surplus. So the income surplus here, let's come and do some addition over here. So this plus, then we'll come and add the profits at the down over here. So this is the net profit. So we can select this one. Or we can finish and come and do it. So don't worry. Don't worry. So let's move into the P&L side. Let's come to the P&L side. I will come back to what I was just trying to do, so don't worry about it. So the P&L side, so these are the notes that we are compiling. So over here too, we are going to write the same formula that we used earlier on. So we can just go and copy the formula in the come and paste, or we can write a new one. Which one do you want to use? We should finish. Yeah. Okay, but then we'll finish. Okay, so say by 2 o'clock we need to finish everything. So let's go fast. Okay, so we are writing a new function. Say we should write a new one. So it's equal to VLOOKUP. Then the lookup value is what is going to be the account code over here, comma. The table array is going to be the trial balance, comma. Index column is going to be 3, comma. Then approximate match is going to be 0. So you can drag this one down. So we are not getting any values. So it means that this is the income. The income is located at the credit side. So instead of 3, we type 4. So we can drag it down. So now they are coming. Are you okay now? So now let's try and add a condition. I had a yes or no. So I'm adding the condition. Let me say some more. So the condition is going to be if Can you see my screen well, or let me enlarge it? So let me zoom it small. I think 140 is okay. Or let me make it 150. So this is so I'm coming to start with the if statement. So if statement will start right from the before the VLOOKUP. So I think most of you were making this common mistake. After the if, there should be a bracket. After the if, there should be a bracket. So if after tapping the if, you can equally tap on the tab key to select the bracket, or you can tap the bracket yourself. So here is it. So if this formula is not equal to 0, so this is the logical test. If this formula, the formula in there is not equal to 0, so this whole package is a logical test. So you bring your comma. Then value, if true, you copy this function, the formula you created earlier on, just copy everything. Don't add the bracket for the if. Don't add that one to it. I saw some of you making such mistake too. So copy this, then come and paste it over here. So this becomes the value when it is true. Then you bring a comma. You bring a comma. Then we have value if false. Value if false. So if false, we are pasting the same thing again, but this time around we'll change it to 3. So we'll paste it again, then we'll close the brackets, but we'll change the 4 here to 3. So this time around, because it is at the income statement side, we can use the same formula throughout. So all the expenses will be in negative. Are you getting it? So we just add the expenses to the income, then to get the net result. Are you getting it? So enter. So now I can drag this one down. So here there should be a total for the income. I think I didn't do that one. So let's add the total. So control to get the totals. Then the fees and commissions. So let's copy the formula here and come and paste at the fees and commission. We drag it down. Sorry. Where am I? Okay. So the fees and commission is up to this side. Then we get a total for the fees and commission too. Then other income. Let's paste it here. Here there are no values, but let as well get the totals. Then we have total income. So total income is going to be this plus this plus the interest income. Then we have, so let's come to the expenses. So expenses over here, we are going to use the same formula, but because they are expenses, they are all going to be negative. So we can maintain that one, and if you don't want it to, you can still change the formula so that you can have it in positive. Then you subtract the expenses from the income. So I'm pasting it over here, then dragging this one down. Hey, it's coming positive. Oh, okay, so we made a mistake. We didn't add the negative sign. We didn't add a negative sign, so let's add it. It should be for the final one. Okay, so it's coming negative now. So the staff cost, we do same. We'll drag it through. Let me get a total here. If it doesn't look good for you, you can change it to way. This one, you are the accountant, so you determine how you want it. So we are done. So let's tabulate the total expenses. So this is going to be this plus, so I'm adding upwards plus this total plus the totals here, which is the staff cost, then plus the interest expense. So this is the total I'm getting. So the profit before tax is going to be the total income, which is over here, plus, because this time around, because all are negative, that's why I'm using the plus. So plus the total expenses. So we got a loss of, so you see that was the same difference in the in the balance sheet over there. So then the net profit is going to be this plus the tax. I'm sure it's supposed to be manual, the tax over here. So this is what you get. So now what we are going to do next, so this is what I was trying to do over there. So when we come to the BS data, so you just do a plus over here. So you add, so this is the formula we have in there. So that is giving you this. So just open the income surplus formula, the income surplus formula over here. Just open it and add a plus to it. Then come to the P&L notes and select the net loss and enter. See that it balanced. So are we all here? So now we are done with the notes. So these are the notes. So let's summarize them in our statement of financial position. So let's go and summarize them over there. So over here we have, these are statements of financial position. So we have the cash and cash balance, cash and bank balances. So these are asset column, then the liability columns, and then shareholders fund. So from the cash and cash balances, just type equal to sign, come to the BS notes and select the total cash and cash balances over here. Then press enter. Then over here, the held to maturity, equal to sign, come to the BS notes. This is the held to maturity. Select the totals over here. Press enter. The loans and advances the same way. Equal to sign. You come to the BS notes over here. So this is the loans and advances. Enter. Then we have provision for impairment. So because it's a provision, it will be at the liability side of the note that we did. But because it's a liability, we will subtract it from the loan portfolio, so that we get the net loan, because it's an impairment. So we'll add in. So before after we type the positive, the equal to sign, let's bring a negative value before. Then we come to the BS notes. Then we are going to look for the provision for impairment. So that is the general loss over here, the loan provision. So we just select this one and enter. So you see that it has come in brackets. Then we have the taxation that it was a deferred tax asset. So we just type equal to sign. We come to the BS notes. So here is it, the deferred tax assets. We select this one. Then other assets, equal to sign. We come to the BS notes. We select the totals over here. Then the PPE. So this one, let's do before we do, we'll do some additions and subtractions. So we have the PPE in the asset side is the total cost, and we also have the accumulated depreciation at the liability side. So we just pick the total cost, then we subtract the accumulated depreciation from it to get the PPE to be reported. So this one is going to be equal to BS notes. So we come to the PPE, we select the total PPE over here, minus the accumulated depreciation. So we come to the liability side, this is accumulated depreciation. So minus the totals over here. But I think the intangible asset was reported separately. But the accumulated depreciation, you see that the intangible asset is inclusive. So we just do plus the intangible asset. Amortization of the software. We just add that one to it so that it will not be part. So then we come to the intangible asset. So this one is going to be equal to the intangible asset, the software over here, then minus the amortization. So we come to the PPE side, we select the amortization, then the total assets over here. So we can just click on Alt equal to do the totals. So this is our total assets. Then let's come to the total liabilities. So this is a customer deposit. So that is customer deposit. We come to the BS note. So the liability. Here is it. This is the fixed deposit and the future plan. Those are the customer deposits. So we select the totals. Enter other liabilities. We come over here. So other liabilities, I'm sure this one is a lot of them. So we select this plus these liabilities too. Then I'm sure that is all. Then we go to the next one. So this is the total liability. Then the shareholders fund. So this one we select equal to sign. This one they need to know. So because they follow in that order, you can just drag this one down and they will all come. Then the total shareholders fund total. So you type equal to sign, select. This is the total shareholders fund. Then we come here, total liabilities and equity. So we select this plus this. So you see that it's balancing. So you just subtract this minus the total assets minus the total liabilities, and it's balancing. See that it's not difficult. So let's do the same thing for the income statement. So over here too, we are coming to do the same. So the interest income, we tap equal to sign. We come to the P&L side, then we select the total income. This is the interest income. Then we have interest expense. So interest expense over here, we tap equal to sign. Because this one, the expenses are in negative, we are just going to select them straight away. So interest expense, here is it. So here, because the interest expense is in positive, I'll just add them up. So total, this is the total net interest income. I'll just select this plus this, because already the interest expense is supposed to be the income and the expense, but because the expense is already negative, that is why I'm adding it. So I'm adding it. Then we have the fees and commission. So I'll click here, then I'll come to fees and commission. Then I'll select the total. Then other operating income. I'll click here, other operating. I'm sure that one there was no any other thing, so I'll select this one. Then total operating income is going to be equal to this plus, so summation of this one. Then operating expenses. So this one is asking us to add all the expenses. So operating expenses, we are adding all them together. So we tap equal to sign. Then we come to the expenses column. We are adding everything with the exception of the interest expense. So we select the, we can even come here. We can even, there's a total expenses over here. So we can select this one. But before that, let's come and show you something. You see that the credit impairment loss is reported on a separate line. So we are just going to pick the total operating expenses now. We are just going to take the whole thing and subtract the impairment from it. So I'll just type equal to sign. Take the total expenses, manuals, the general loss impairment. So here is it. So I'm here making it minus because the manuals will become a positive. So it will add it to it. So this is the total expenses. Then operating profit before impairment. So that is going to be equal to this plus this. Then impairment loss. So we come here, P&L. So that time they made a lot of impairment provision. The net before net profit before tax. So we select this plus the impairment loss. Hey, are we sure everything is alright? So this one is going to be this plus the tax. So I'm sure there's something not, we should get the same thing over here. So let's check where we didn't get it right. So our total income, I'm sure that side is okay. So let's check the expenses. Okay, I'm sure. Let me do a plus and see. Which is equal to total expenses I'm doing a plus minus and the impairment. Total expenses minus the impairment loss. Okay. So let's check the difference to detect where the problem is coming from. So the difference between this and the profit. Oh, okay. Do you know the mistake we made? You see the total expenses over here include the interest expense. So it includes the interest expense. That's why it's adding up that way. So we can equally come to that side and you say that this total expense, then minus the interest expense again. So this is the interest expense. So now we are right. Aki, you are right. Okay, so now we were saying that automation. So how do we automate it? So now let's change the heading. So the heading, this is the balance sheet and so let's add some headings to it. So the headings, let's automate the headings too. So we are going to add functions to this side so that anytime we change the reporting date, so maybe the reporting date can be somewhere here at the balance sheet. So we say that this one is a January data. The data that was in there was January. So we say that this is going to be 31st, January 31st, 2023. So this is our reporting dates. So this one, I made mention of name range. So we didn't use it over here, but I'm coming to use just a particular portion of it. So even though I'm not going to talk about everything on name range, so I'm just going to use the name box over here to create a name for this. So you see the name over here. This is the name box. So just click on it. It's highlighting C1. So just click on it and then just write reporting date. So I'm just shortening it to make it R date. R_date. You don't have to bring space. You don't have to bring spacing within. So if you want to separate anything, you just have to separate with underscore. So _date. So this become our reporting date. So when I click on it, even though I'm seeing C1 there, but where if I go here and I type equal to and I type R date, R_date, oh, it's not coming. Oh, okay, it didn't come. So let me do it again. This is going to be our R. Okay, let me just type R date like this. Then enter. Okay, so now that is working. So you see that when I raise the cursor there, it's no more C1, it's now R date. So if I come here and I make it equal to R date, enter. See that the date will come here. So this date, the figures here is a date. It means that since 1900, the number of days up to now, this is the date up to this date. That's the number of days over there. So I can just go here and change it to number format. I can format it to dates from January. I'll just select it to maybe a short date, and the date will just come. I see that. Okay. So we are going to mimic that in every. So if I come here and maybe I type our date over here, equal to our date, the date will just appear over here. Are you getting it? So this is what we are going to do. So we are going to add a function to this heading so that anytime we change the reporting date, it will reflect in here. It will reflect in here. So this, and anytime, so this is a text. This text, and if we are adding text in a function, you have to put them in a quotation bracket. So this is what we are going to do. So let's clean the date portion of it. So this is going to be statement of financial position as at. So from this point, I'm just going to put quotation mark from here to this side. As at. Okay, the at didn't come. So as at. So let me bring the at. As at. So now, but before then, let's bring equal to sign. Equal to, so as at. So we are inputting in the formula now. So now we are going to join this with what we call the test function. There's a test function we'll be using. So we are going to join this with the test function. So to join anything, text and whatever in a formula or a function, we can use what we call the concatenation function, or you can use the n symbol. So the n symbol, so let's use the n symbol. So that the shift 7. Shift 7 will give you the n symbol, so like this. So we are joining them. So we are going to type test. So when you type test, this is the function we are coming to use, test. So the test function have got the value and the format. So the format we put in there will determine what it will report. So the value in here is going to be the date value, which will be going to be the R date. Then the format, we are going to put the date format we want it to appear. So we are going to type R date over here, comma, then the test format. So we want to report the month and the year. So as at the month of January 2022, January. So to represent the format, this is how it comes. So if you do, maybe if I want to report the month, if I say MM, it will report the number, which is 01, which is the number of the. If I do MM, which is 3 times, it will report maybe a short form, that is Jane. But if I do MMM, it will report the name, the full name, that is January. I getting it. So this is January, so I'm separating it with a comma. Then the year 2, I'll just say YYY, that is the 2023. So then I'll close the bracket. So statement of financial position as at January 2022. So that is what is supposed to come. So I'll press on enter. So you see that it's coming. So now, but you see that the January is reporting in what do you call small letters, but we want it to be in cap. So we format the formula, and over here from this side we'll add what we call the upper function. Then we just wrap it with the upper function like this. Then we press on enter. So now if you come here, if you come to the BS note and we change the reporting date to, let's say for instance February. So 28 February 28. So I will come to the see that when I come, you see that the date has changed. So that you don't have to be repeating the date and be trying to change the heading and other things. So let's do the same for the income statement too. You can even just copy the function here. If you copy, I think we should have to change this. So let's do the same. Let's repeat it so that you know how to do it well. So it's equal to so let me clean this. Then I'll bring my concatenation symbol, then test. So the value is going to be R date, comma, Then the text format is going to be MMM, comma, then YYYY. Then I'll close the bracket. Then I'll wrap it with the upper function. Upper. Then I'll close the bracket again. Then I'm done. Also one more. Okay, so let me see. Income statement for. Okay, this bracket, so me say there's something. Okay. So there's usually I didn't bring quotation mark here. So there should be quotation mark within the format. So I'll press on enter, and it's working. So now we have automated the process now. So now this data is for January. So now let's go to our source data. Let's go to our source data. So this is the trial balance. So we have other data here. So we have data that of the February and that of March. So let's go and replace the January in. So let's move the January out. So I'm moving the January out of it. So let me. You say that I have opened the data, so it won't come. So let me close it. So let me just. So it's over here. It's open. So I'm moving this data out to this side. Oh, I know you, sir. Oh, okay, this one is open. Then I'm moving in the February data. So I'm just cutting and pasting this one here into the trial balance data here. So I've changed the data source now. So after changing that is maybe you are done with the last month. So you are coming to this month. So when you come to the month of February, you just come to your data over here. Go to data. Then go to refresh all. Click on it. So just be looking at the figures. You see that it will be changing. Did you see that? See that we made a loss last month in January. But now we are making a profit of 60,000. So it has populated it. So now we can. Okay, I've already changed the way. So you see that it's balancing and we are getting. Oh no, I'm sure. Oh, this is a different thing. This is a different trial balance. Sorry. I'm on a different sheet. Let me open mine. What we just did. So here is it. This is the Z financials. Here is it. But you have to bring your head in. So the name of the company is very important. So now I'm here now. So the refresh, it can be done everywhere. It can be done from the balance sheet note, wherever. Once you're on this way, so you just go to data. Then you go to refresh all. So you go to refresh all. Oh, what is this? So this is 32. So you see that it has changed to 31. So now if I drag it down, see that now our profit is what? 82,000. When I come here, this is the statement of financial position. At first it was 4.0 something, now it's 4.3. The income statement to have changed. So you see that the credit impairment here is already done.
So it means the folder you were using, the January one, you go and delete that one from the folder.
Yeah, you don't, yeah. So you take the folder from there, then you put in the February data in there. That is all.
You take the data from the folder.
From the folder, the previous one, then replace it with the current one. Yeah. Then you just refresh it. So maybe what you can do is that you can save the previous data in the name January. Then you get a current one with the name February. Then you refresh it. That is all. And afterwards, maybe after saving it, if you want to break the connections of Power Query. So what is it that if you send this data to someone, if you send it to someone, the person will not be able to run it unless maybe you go and do the setups on the person's laptop for the person. And also, if you change the folder, maybe you have moved your folder to a different folder, the connection will break. So you have to go and change the data source. So this is how you change the data source. So let's take for instance, maybe I have moved. So maybe I have created a new, what do we call, a new folder. So this folder, I'm just going to label it TB. And I want to move the match information to that data. So I can just move it to over here. It didn't move, it didn't go. So I have moved the match way. So I want the match to populate. So what I have to do is that now this information, I want it to be appeared as match. So let me change my date to match. So this is going to be 31st of March. Then I need to change the data source. So to change the data source, that one you can't change it from this side. You need to come to the Power Query data. That is the trial balance. So once you click on it, you see the query will appear over here. So you go to query, then you go to edit. You can even change the data source without going to the query and the edit. So once you come to the over here, you see the data source settings at the top here. So I will just click on this, and this is the data source. So I will just click on this and go to change source. So I'll browse the change source too. So it's on my desktop around where the CPD is in course. So this is the source now, TB. Then I'll just click on OK. So I can close this one now. Then I'll load my data now. It is done. So once you come here, see that in March, okay, let me come to the P&L. See that in March, the February one was 82,000. Now March is 60,000. I hope you are okay now. So I'll because of the way I'll edit the video. I'll go and edit the video. Then I'll share the link with you. Yeah. So I'll edit it. I'll put it on YouTube. Then I'll share the link with you people. So I hope you'll be fine with that. But the YouTube is not going to be accessible to everyone. I'll put it at unlisted. So those with the link that will get access to this video. Not everybody can view it on YouTube. Okay. So we are done now. Someone should pray for us, then we go for our food. Okay, questions and answers.